I want to ask you, how did you connect with the guys in Fun? You're in Boston, they're all in New York City. How did you connect with them, and when did you connect with the guys in Fun?
Met Nate, who's the lead singer. He was in a band called The Format, and The Format had opened up on a tour for Guster, and I'll kind of never forget it because Guster was playing the Beacon Theater, The Format was opening up, and it was soundcheck, and I walked into soundcheck, and I heard The Format soundchecking, and I said, who's singing right now? And they said, oh, that's the kid in The Format. And so his voice really caught me right away, and what wound up happening is we just sort of stayed in touch, and through some interesting circumstances, the company that I've eventually went to work for, Network, took on The Format's management, and the guy that was doing day-to-day with them decided to leave the business. And when he decided to leave the business, I said, well, what's going to happen with The Format? And he said, oh, The Format is breaking up, and that's not going forward. And he's got some demos with Nate's new band called Fun. And they're just starting to make a record, and I'm not into this business anymore, and I'm going to move on. And so being such a fan of The Format, what I did is I called Nate and said to him, like, I'd love to talk to you about what you're going to do next. I'm not going to assume because your day-to-day manager here within our company is leaving that you want to stay here, so I want you to treat me like you would be interviewing for new managers, and if through that process, you feel like you want me to manage you, I'm here. I want to do it, and I think I've got a great plan for you. And we hit it off from then, and that we really started getting going with Fun probably just over 4 years ago now. So and the first thing we did was we put out their first album, Aim and Ignite, and we put that out ourselves through the management company. So we did it as a joint venture with the band and the management company.
Let me ask you, you talk about that idea of getting a plan, and I think that's a big part of what a manager does. As you and I have been doing this for a while now, success in the music business can almost feel like a miracle sometimes, but we do try to start with a plan. What was your plan for Fun when you started out, and what were the key elements that contributed most to Fun's breakthrough, in your opinion?
The plan from the very beginning, honestly, was to develop a strong touring band. That's the world that I know. That's the world that I came from. Nate being in The Format, Jack, the guitar player, was in a band called Steel Train. Andrew, the piano player, was in a band called Anathalo. They had all come, all really had the grassroots touring thing down, and they had all sort of struggled at it and all had done it in different incarnations. But that was sort of in their DNA to start with, and that's what I really, all the other bands that I've worked with, that's what I really knew, is how to build a real fan base. And the number one thing that caught me was what I think is a very special thing is unique songs from the get-go. That there isn't a lot of people that sounded like them or doing what they were doing at the time, and also that their live performance is absolutely fantastic. Like when you hear that voice and you see it in person, it is legit. And they have a great presence on stage. And it was one of those situations that I really believed that if I got them in front of people, that they would win over people. And every time we'd sort of come back to a market, more and more people came. And the initial goal with Fun was we always said, can we develop into a touring band that, maybe we can have a career of playing theaters and big clubs. Like the aspirations were modest, because what was really critical to us was doing it for a career. So we didn't even talk about things like radio or mainstream success. It was like, how do we develop a fan base where we can do this for as long as they want to do it? And that was the initial plan, and that's how we started to lay it out from day one.